In this video, I'm gonna show you just how stupidly overpowered this basic mechanic is. Chances are you've been doing it wrong your entire life, and I'm about to fix that for you. I taught a diamond player how to do this in less than an hour.
You did it! Oh my god!
Yes. And as a final test, I used the same thing against SSLs who are definitely a lot better than me.
Nice!
Yeah, I'm not saving that.
All of this to prove how you're overcomplicating one of Rocket League's most deadly mechanics. But first, before beginning, this video is sponsored by Opera GX. If you don't already know, Opera GX is a web browser that's specifically built for gamers. Unlike most browsers that hog your PC's resources, it actually has limiters that you can set, so you can stay in the game at maximum quality and FPS. On top of that, there's also way more customization options like colored themes, sound effects, and forced dark mode on every single website. That's a huge one for me. I really love the mods they have available on the GX store. With one click, you can select a totally new one that contains new sound effects, background music, and an overall theme. They've also got a convenient sidebar for quick access to Twitch, Discord, Spotify, and so many more. Right above that, there's the GX Corner, where you can stay up to date on the latest news, releases, and game deals, all just in one place right there. And if you use the link in the description, you'll get an exclusive feature where you can see my latest videos there. It's pretty cool. Did I mention it's free? Yeah, there's literally no price tag on this. So if all this sounds great to you, you can download it now using the link below. Thanks again to Opera GX for sponsoring today's video. The single mechanic we're talking about today is something you're definitely all familiar with, or at least a version of it. However, I'm willing to bet that almost every single one of you doesn't actually use it nearly to its full potential. To show you what I mean, let's begin with an example. On screen now are two different types of air dribbles, and it's your job to figure out which one is competitively better. One, as you can see, is more touches and a smoother carry. We'll call this the glue for now. And the other is obviously less touches with more power on each one. We'll call this the dribble. You can replay this part of the video if you need more time, but as a test to start it out, I called up a diamond player to get his answer to this dilemma.
I like second. The thing that I saw, you kind of popped it and then jumped. So you kind of had this pause halfway through and then carried it over.
Last call to make a choice because the answer is coming up right about now. You are actually correct. I'm actually really impressed. Now hold your horses here for a second. Based on the amount of people I've shown this same dilemma to behind the scenes, I'm already starting to predict that a lot of you are disagreeing with this. So if that's you, I encourage you to keep an open mind, as immediately after, I attempted to showcase exactly why this particular method is so deadly. We're gonna go on a private match, and I'm going to try and exclusively use that mechanic against you, okay, and see how many I can get. Yep, there we go. There's one. There we go. That last touch. Obviously, I'm literally air dribbling on a diamond player right now, so it's fair to say this isn't all that impressive, which is exactly why I got a champ, grand champ, and some SSLs to work up to throughout this video. So you can see how this mechanic evolves and continues to work as you climb the ranks. But by the end of this game we're watching here, I managed to score a total of 6 goals with this particular mechanic in one game. Yep, there it is. All right, wow. Okay, 6 in one game. So now it's your turn. I'm gonna teach you how to do this.
All right, I'm ready.
I'll get into exactly why this mechanic is so deadly, even in higher lobbies, in just a second. But in order to teach our diamond contestant here how to do this basic mechanic, I first had to figure out where our starting point was. And judging by the first few attempts, it was pretty clear we weren't that close to begin with. But still, I wasn't that concerned, because although it looks kind of difficult, I truly know exactly how basic this mechanic is when you break it down properly. So we'll go ahead and come back to this to check on his progress over time. But for now, let's move on to the rank of champion. Ooh, maybe?
No.
Yes!
For a bit more control.
There we go.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh. Sometimes I solo queue. I don't know if I'm feeling it.
There we go. Same thing.
From the
Same
ground,
exact
too.
thing. Since the defense is getting a bit stronger now, you might be starting to recognize the pattern of why this works so well. The big difference between the glue air dribble and this one is that with the glue, it's almost impossible to have any sort of sudden change in direction. You can curve the direction you carry it in whatever way you want, but that's really about it. However, with this other technique, each individual touch could have a completely different outcome depending on what the attacker chooses to do. So particularly looking at this last touch, I could either fake this and not hit it at all, or I could hit it completely solid to the top shelf. These are two completely different outcomes. And the further apart those outcomes are, the more difficult it is for the defender to read your shot. Now add a little pause just before that last touch, and you've now successfully baited your opponent into thinking you're all done with the carry, giving you pretty much an open net and an incredibly easy finish. All right, let's teach you how to do this thing. The two-touch air dribble is definitely one of my favorite mechanics to teach because players often already know how to air dribble in a more challenging way, so it's always eye-opening to them when they realize they've been overcomplicating it this whole time. And that was definitely the case here with our champ player. So after just a few tweaks to the technique and just 7 minutes of practice, Bagel scored a picture-perfect two-touch air dribble. That's a good one.
Nice, nice. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, that was perfect.
Because the progress was so quick, I decided to jump in there and start trying to defend some of them. And without a doubt, he was already prepared to start scoring these in online matches. Not only did he get the normal two-touch down, but he also started incorporating the fake as well, which genuinely had me guessing on defense.
Nice job. Yeah, I was playing the fake there.
Uh-oh.
No, you got me. You got me.
Break tap. Break tap.
Nice. Nice. That's already so good. Great job. Great job. It's time to move on to Grand Champion. This is where things really take a step up. I didn't really have to do any more teaching at this level since I grabbed Verge, who is not only better than me, but he's also an RLCS coach, so he knows all about this. Instead, we treated it more as a way of figuring out how we could take this same idea to the next level.
Nice. Yeah, okay. I was playing the fake there.
Yeah, also turning your car upside down, I feel like, is also really key, just to kind of fake the flip reset in general.
You really can't fake the flip reset from that position really well.
Wow, there we go, there we go. You couldn't commit until the last second because I could have faked that on the ground.
Just like, here, I'm waiting, then I'm gonna do something.
Whoa. Oh, nice. I saw that gap, dude. It's so weird how you dip below and then you just start boosting back into it. And I was like, is he gonna fake it or not? Nice, there it is, there it is.
Yeah.
Since we're climbing the ranks and the defense continues to get better, it forces the attacker to continue to innovate and add more slight changes to make it even more difficult to read. The next thing we noticed was that if you make your last touch slightly to the side, it adds a whole other dimension to try and read. Instead of just finishing it high or faking it low like before, with a side touch, it turns into finishing it high and to the right or faking it low and to the left, making it significantly harder to read as a defender.
Yeah, like there, I'm like you said, it's when you make the variation between hitting and not hitting as big as possible, that's where the dilemma is on defense.
Of course, another thing that changes as you climb is the defense. At Diamond and Champ, defenders rarely ever challenge early on these setups, but at GC and above, you start to see it a lot more often, which definitely makes it harder on the attacker because they have to be prepared for that as well. But at the same time, there's options for the attacker too. The beauty of the two-touch air dribble is that you can transition it into so many different things, like an air dribble bump, for example, which perfectly counters that early challenge, or a flip reset, which you can probably see now why it's so deadly. The difference between hitting and faking is so incredibly far that a lot of the time, you can literally just hit the ball with your wheels and then put your controller down, and you'll score just fine.
Nice.
It's so funny. Or on the contrary, if you see them staying grounded on defense, you just do the reset as normal. The options quickly expand for the attacker, and it all stems from the original two-touch setup that continues to work even at a GC level.
Nice.
Nice,
I had
nice.
to respect the hit across.
Let's check back in on the Diamond real quick to see how the progress is coming along. We're about 30 minutes in now, and remember, the objective is 2 individual touches. Nice, perfect. This is it. That is it. That is the perfect setup right there. If you're wondering how exactly I'm teaching them here, I'm basically breaking down my air dribble tutorial from more than 2 years ago, step by step. To this day, I still believe that video is the best way to learn it if you don't have a coach holding your hand through the process. Full disclosure, our Diamond player here is actually Champion 1 Division 2 in 2v2, but I figured he was a great pick for this since he doesn't consider himself mechanical at all, and as you can see, he could not air dribble before today. However, as long as my plan continued to go smoothly, that was all about to change. But we'll come back one last time after we take a look at the SSLs. My objective at the SSL level was to score as many times as possible in as simple of a way as possible to prove that it really doesn't take much if you make it look really convincing. So we played some games with normal mutators and attempted to farm each other with this two-touch mechanic. And to put it lightly, these guys were monsters with it.
Nice. Yep, that last touch, you baited me in so hard with that.
But just like I planned, the simple two-touch air dribble worked exactly the same here.
Nice, nice.
Did it perfectly there. Yeah, I'm not saving that.
Nice bump. Nice job.
And the bump is like really simple too.
It's from the exact same setup, except you fly in front of the ball instead.
Just 3 touches, top ends.
No, nice.
There it is.
Nice
There it is.
You can probably imagine how things change here at SSL. It's a lot of the same stuff from GC, but it's really just about being even more convincing with it, since these are top tier defenders. Like, look at this one from Durtho. Literally the exact same thing we've been talking about since the start of the video, but the way he executes it is just so much more convincing than any other one we've seen so far. So because defenders at this rank are so good at reading all sorts of different shots, it's really challenging to get it past them. But at the same time, it's also kind of beneficial. Since they're so hyper aware of all the options at your disposal with this setup, a lot of the time, all you need to do is just threaten one of them and then not do anything.
Oh, no,
Right
no, no,
underneath
no, no, no.
you, let's go. This is the big misconception I feel so many people fall victim to. Players often think that in order to score on higher ranked players, you need to learn how to do crazier and crazier mechanics. When realistically, if you master something as simple as a two-touch air dribble, that's literally all you need in a lot of cases. To close it out, it's about time we check back in on our diamond player. To prove how basic this mechanic truly is, after just over 30 minutes, the challenge was now complete.
Okay. This is it.
Wait,
This is it.
you did it. Oh my gosh. Yes. That was it.
The double.
Yup.
That was it.
Oh my god.
I'm telling you guys, if I can get a non-mechanical player to go from this to a near perfect one in such a short time, hopefully that motivates you to try it for yourself. So especially if you can already air dribble in a more difficult way, as I know so many of you can, I highly encourage you to learn this version next. It's easier, more effective, and continues to work even at the top rank in the game.
Oh my gosh, nice job.